I believe in the power of learning, and so does Smart Deal Academy. This incredible nonprofit serving the greater Charlotte area is changing lives through personalized tutoring, homeschool teaching, and enrichment classes for students of all ages. From pre-K phonics to private music and Spanish lessons, Smart Deal creates a safe, joyful space where kids grow in confidence and curiosity. This work only happens because of generous donations from those who believe every student deserves a chance to thrive. Every dollar fuels one-on-one support, creative programming, and the kind of encouragement that sticks with a child for life. Be a part of that impact by visiting smartdeal.com and make a tax-deductible donation today. Let's build a brighter future together.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Well, Carlos, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. Very excited.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for writing this book on I don't know if you know anything about me or this show, but I am obsessed with The Wizard of Oz. I have a Wizard of Oz tattoo. I grew up with all the stuff. Yes, it was a big, big deal in my life, and it still is. There's Wizard of Oz artwork in this studio, and I have always wondered exactly what your book is about, The Other Road.
Yeah, it's funny because the Wizard of Oz had a big impact on me as a kid. I was a kid. I'm definitely a '70s, '80s baby, and back then it's not like kids now, and that kids have everything now, and it's almost like their imagination is given to them. Back then, when you watch things, your imagination kind of took over. And I remember watching the Wizard of Oz. It captivated me like it does everybody else. But
Yeah.
I just remember as a kid, I noticed that they're singing "Follow the Yellow Brick Road, Follow the Yellow Brick Road." But I'm saying to myself, there's a red one there. What's up with that? Where does that go? And that's always stuck in my head from the moment I first saw the Wizard of Oz to the day I finally said, you know what, I'm going to sit down and write this book. So, I always wondered, if they went that way, what would happen? Or if they didn't meet the Scarecrow, what would have happened? Or if they met something else, what would have happened? So I always think that way.
Did you always want to be an author, a writer, or was it just this topic that you were like, this is what I'm going to write about?
So, it's funny. I never, and I spoke to my high school English teacher a couple of weeks ago about this. Never did I ever say to myself, I want to be a writer. I've always had an imagination that just kept going and going and going and going. I've always considered myself a creative person. A kid with ADHD, and most kids with ADHD are very creative. They're thinking 1,000 things at a time. So I've always had that creativity, which is why I'm also a musician and why I went into education, because teachers had a big impact on me. But then one day I just realized, after I got my doctorate, I realized, hey, you know what, I can write. I had to write a dissertation, and I said to myself, this is kind of interesting. I actually did a dissertation. I finished it. I actually wrote something. And then that's when I said to myself, maybe I can take my thoughts and put them down on paper. And then so last summer, early summer, even earlier, last spring, I started to just jot down a few things, and a few things led to a couple of pages, and a couple of pages led to it. And I just kept writing and writing and writing. And then all of a sudden I started to see the book come to life. And Wicked definitely helped. I've been a Wicked fan. I've seen it in New York probably 4 times. I saw it here in Florida in West Palm Beach once. And then, I said to myself, now somebody else has got an idea about the Wizard of Oz. I've been thinking about this forever. So, it definitely helped. So not a dream to be an author, but definitely a dream to be able to get my imagination out there somewhere. And hey, writing is the way to do it.
And to have a little piece of your own in the Oz history. I love that.
That is very cool. I never thought about that, but yeah, that would be awesome to be able to, 100 years from now, somebody read the book and go, oh, wow, this is an interesting concept, but that is pretty neat.
Were you, or are you a fan of all the, like you were talking about Wicked, of The Wiz and all the Return? Are you a fan of all of those as well?
I am. It's funny that you mentioned that, because the other day my wife and I were flipping through the TV, and we ended up on a Russian version of modern day Wizard of Oz. And it was interesting. I said, let me watch it. So Same story. It was dubbed in English, but it's definitely a Russian version, and it was neat. So I like to watch anything that has to do with the Wizard of Oz. So when Oz the Great and Powerful was out, or all these other ones that came out a while ago, yeah, I love watching them. I love the cartoons that came out, but still, it's a tradition in my house. We watch the Wizard of Oz on Thanksgiving,
Yep.
and yeah, so it's just it's a story that really hits home, and it's a cool story.
Are you going to go to the Sphere?
Funny that you say that. I want to. I'm dying to go. It's funny. I actually had a book signing set up for Vegas, which I had to reschedule. So I think that if I schedule that for a different time, I'm gonna. I mean, how do you not go? Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
have to go. So
That's what I'm trying to figure out how and when I'm going to get there.
it looks incredible.
I
It
know.
looks really neat, and like again, I can't imagine that if I go to Vegas to do this book signing, how do I not do it? So yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna go.
Okay, good. Maybe we should plan it and go
Hey,
together.
let's do it, man. That'd be
And then let's
fantastic.
record it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but what are people going to find in the other road?
So, look, I took it as a definite mix of the two. So, you have the idea of the first story of the original. That's always going to be the best. It's never going to be. I don't think anyone's ever going to write something that's going to overtake that. But and the mixes of Wicked. You have some characters that are still in there. And new characters. There's a lot of new characters that in my dream of dreams, I would love to see it on the big screen one day, where these new characters come to life. I take the idea of the animals being rounded up in Wicked that we saw, and I take that a step further, where they're actually rescued from the wizard's castle. So not to give away too much, but and in there are a handful of new characters, animals that speak, just new people that are play a big part in rescuing the animals. Dr. Dillerman plays a cameo in there, so it's really neat how I really wanted to intertwine both. So I always say to my people, the best way to read my book is to watch The Wizard of Oz, watch Wicked, and then read the book, because you'll go, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So and then you'll go, oh, who's that? Who's that? So the
Yeah.
characters come to life. One of the things my English teacher, who he was the first person to read it, he said, I love the way your characters come to life, and as I read it, I can actually see them on the screen, and I thought that was
Mm,
a really
yeah.
cool, especially coming from him.
Yeah, it's a good compliment.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you think you're going to write any more or?
Yeah, if you read the book, you'll notice it at the end. I definitely leave it open for a new batch, and I think the new batch of books are going to do are going to be, not that they won't have little bits and pieces of Wizard of the Wizard of Oz and Wicked, but it'll definitely start branching out into my own my characters that I built on, and hopefully give them a life of their own. But yeah, if you read the book, you'll see that at the end there's a whole epilogue that says it's going to go definitely be another book coming. I hope anyway.
Okay, good. Then that means hopefully you'll come back here and talk
Absolutely.
about them all.
This
Yes.
is my first podcast, and I'm one that never forgets where it all started. So this will be my home.
Well, there's no place like home, you
That's
know?
right. That's it. I
I
don't have
mean,
to.
it's very obvious where the title came from, but I'm always curious if there were any other titles in the running or if it was always the other
Yeah,
road.
I had the Crimson Road was one that I was going to do, but there's a few books called the Crimson Road. I was going to do the Road Less Traveled, but I mean, how do you do that? I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's impossible to you can't name another book that. And so I just thought about it, and I said, you know what, let's just keep it simple. It's not the yellow one, it's the other one. So
Mhm.
yeah, and so I thought that was the way to go. So yeah, those were the two that I was thinking about. The Crimson Road I really liked, but again, there's a few books with that title.
Where can people connect with you out there in the world?
Absolutely. So I'm definitely on Instagram, which is where I do most of my stuff, at author Carlos Perez. Same on Facebook. I'm starting to do a little bit more on TikTok with the videos and all those things. So I'm same thing on TikTok. And then my website, authorcarlosperez.com. You could definitely reach out there, send me DMs. And I'm definitely going to I'm doing I have 9 cities already done for my book signing, which start actually next weekend. I'll be in Orlando, Florida. So yeah, I have all that posted on my website and on the Instagrams. Yeah.
Good. What do you love most about your life right now?
This is very exciting for me. Look, I'm an educator, so I still do that, and I love what I do. I work with kids, and that's always been a big deal for me. But now the idea that my story, that kids from all over the world, in essence, could have an opportunity to read this story and give me feedback, and I love that. My dream is to start a kids book club and have them read that book, because I really want to hear from them, because I know what Wizard of Oz, how it impacted me,
Mhm.
and how it always stayed as a an endless, timeless classic, and I just want that to continue. So yeah, I think that's really awesome. The fact that other kids can read that and enjoy it and want another one and want another one, that'd be neat.
Yeah, it's like the Harry Potter series. Like kids can read it, adults can read it. Like it's such a great all-around book.
I agree with you 100%. And that's one of the things that when I was reading with my publisher, they were like, this sounds like young adult. I said, yeah, it definitely is young adult. But the reality is you can be 80 and still love The Wizard of Oz. You can be 15 and still love Wicked, and vice versa. So I think this is a classic that will just transcend ages. So
Yeah.
anybody will enjoy it.
Oh, I'm excited for more to come.
Awesome.
Um, Before we head out today, will you play a game with me?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, good. The name of the game is Oz Multiverse Showdown. Okay.
Ooh, sounds good.
All right. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to give you two characters from Wizard of Oz spin-offs, Wizard of Oz, the whole multiverse.
All right.
You have to pick. I'm going to give you two of them. You pick your favorite one, and then process of elimination. Whichever one wins goes to the second round.
Got it.
Okay?
All right.
And then when we're finished, because there's not really a winner or loser, our entire non-existent studio audience gets a copy of the other row. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Round one. From The Wizard of Oz, the 1939 film, Glinda the Good Witch or The Wicked Witch of the West?
Uh, you know, how do you not go with the Wicked Witch of the West? I mean, that's just a classic. She is the best portrayed witch I think that will ever be ever, and you got to go with the Wicked Witch of the West.
All right, The Wicked Witch of the West or Princess Mombi from to Oz?
Oh wow! I got to
Mhm.
go with the old school classic. I got to stay with the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay, Wicked Witch of the West or um, The Wiz. Oh, sorry, or Eveline from The
On
Wiz.
the Wiz. Oh, that's gosh, man, that's a tough one. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go with the Wicked Witch of the West, only because again she's the classic, but that probably be the closest one to topple her.
Okay, Wicked Witch of the West or Theodora from Oz the Great and Powerful in
Oh
2013.
man, again, I got to go with the Wicked Witch of the West. Yeah, she's winning everything so far.
Okay, so far, The Wicked Witch of the West or Marshall Mallow from Legends of Oz Dorothy's Return 2013.
That is a great one. Wow. I'm gonna stay firm with the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. Yes, Wicked Witch of the West or DG from Tin Man, the 2007 miniseries. Yeah,
Ooh,
that was a good one, by the
that
way.
was a good one, but
Yeah.
again, staying firm with the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay. All right, Wicked Witch of the West or West from Emerald City, the TV series in 2017.
Yeah, that was a good one, but again, I don't think anybody comes close to the Wicked Witch of the
Okay.
West.
Okay, Wicked Witch of the West or Pepe the King Prawn as Toto from Muppets Wizard of Oz in 2005.
That's a great one with Ashanti in that. That was really good.
Uh-huh.
And I am a Muppets fanatic. Oh God, that is a wow. Wicked Witch of the West, but not by much.
Okay, Wicked Witch of the West or Dorothy from Dorothy and the Witches of Oz in 2012.
That was a good one too, but again, going with the classic.
Okay, Wicked Witch of the West or Dorothy from the 1939 film.
That is really tough.
It's the final one.
That's the final one. Oh man, I can't rely on the old school classic because they're both old school classics. So let's say I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna make this the last minute switch. I'm gonna go to Dorothy.
Dorothy, of course.
Yeah, because you know what? She is the queen, if you will. She is the reason why the book was made, and I think that without her, you don't really have a Wizard of Oz. So,
So true.
yeah, I'm going with Dorothy. She's the
All right.
ultimate iconic character in the series.
Perfect. And everyone in the audience is getting a copy of The Other Road. They're clapping. You can hear it.
Enjoy them, guys. Really, I'd love to hear the feedback. Reach out, say hi.
Yes. Carlos, thank you so much for being here.
I love being here. Thank you so much, and invite me back anytime. I'm more than happy to come back.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.